aside from a person giving out maximum contributions, here's where it kind of narrows it down versus the Pag Ibig Mp2. This one is very, very specific. The SSS Flexi Fund is only for Filipinos abroad. So let me qualify who that are eligible for this. It has to be Filipino people abroad that are younger than 60 years old. Unlike the Pag Ibig Mp2 where you could contribute even if you're past 60 already. Hey guys, so this is in response to all of your comments. I got a ton of comments asking about the SSS Flexi Fund, especially that we are still currently in our series. So for the Pag Ibig Mp2, we're still ongoing and doing it. Right in the middle of all of that, while I was creating those set of videos, I got a lot of comments from all of you asking, why don't you make a video also for SSS Flexi Fund? So at least we have full context. And since we're in the month of January, at least you get to have also a good range already of areas or asset classes where you can put your money as well. So please remember, it won't be limited by just SSS. We're going to talk more about other investments. We're going to talk even about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. So comment them below for those who are interested in those types of asset classes. We've done so much about real estate and business and of course the stock market, but I want to give you a good range of investments. So if this SSS Flexi Fund is something that's interesting to all of you guys, or if there may be some questions that may arise from this, just put them below. And similar to the MP2 series, I'm gonna make a new set of videos, all of that for you. So if you guys are excited, please comment I'm excited. Please comment I want to know more, or comment SSS if this is something that's so exciting to all of you. So by the way, for those who don't know or those who are listening here or watching that's not really acquainted to what's happening in the Philippines, basically SSS is a pension fund. So if Pag Ibig, the money you contribute there would allow you to take out loans for houses that you would want to get or for socialized housing. SSS basically is our pension funds. If you're an employee, you contribute a specific amount per month, which gets accumulated throughout the year and gets accumulated throughout your entire lifetime of saving and investing. And then your employer also contributes a certain amount that will form your pension fund. But please remember this as well, because we're not like in other countries where you go to Australia, you go to Canada, you go to the United Kingdom. Their pension funds are amazing. It's good enough that it will allow you to live a very, very comfortable life. However, in the Philippines, I've seen it from my parents. Their SSS really isn't as much. It's not something that will allow you to live a comfortable life. It may buy probably rice. It could probably pay for your Meralco bills and probably water. Kung nag-aircon ka pa, dalawa aircon mo sa bahay, it might not be even enough to cover your Meralco bills. That's why my suggestion always is you supplement your investing along with SSS. Do not just rely on SSS. The basic reason why they created this SSS Flexi Fund is for that as well. Meaning, because the regular contributions may not be so high, the regular contributions may not give account holders of SSS a good rate of return when they would retire. That's why they're most likely making this so that people will have a larger rate of return when they retire. So they're trying to hedge that when people retire, because of the SSS Flexi Fund, those who are enrolled in it will have a better amount that they will get for their pension. Who are the people who can avail of this SSS Flexi Fund? Similar to Pag Ibig, you have to be a member. You cannot avail of this if you are not a member of SSS as well. So meaning you have to be regularly contributing to this for you to be able to avail this. I don't know if you know this, there's a maximum contribution. I think it's around 1,720 or 1,760, around those figures, no? Before you can contribute to the SSS Flexi Fund, you need to put more than the regular maximum contribution of 1,760 on a monthly basis. I'll just estimate, you multiply 1,760 by 12 months, it's roughly around 20,000. Say you put around 30,000 for that year, 1,760 times 12 less the 30,000 that you put, the difference with that, that's the amount that will go to the Flexi Fund. So it has to be something on top of your maximum contribution. So what does that mean? If you're not contributing the maximum level, you won't be able to participate in this. Next, aside from being an SSS member, aside from a person giving out maximum contributions, here's where it kind of narrows it down versus the Pag Ibig Mp2. This one is very, very specific. The SSS Flexi Fund is only for Filipinos abroad. So let me qualify who that are eligible for this. It has to be Filipino people abroad that are younger than 60 years old. Unlike the Pag Ibig Mp2 where you could contribute even if you're past 60 already. Let me segment it further. You have to be living permanently in another country, or you're hired to work for an employment position based abroad, or you are earning money from another country. So those are the only three groups of people abroad that could avail on it. So if you are a Filipino working, living, and earning from the Philippines, this is not for you. So this somehow chops it already. If we have, I don't know, 100 plus million Filipinos, this is only for the 10 million people who are abroad. Now, what does that mean also? The assumption here is this: they're forcing, not actually forcing, but they're pushing Filipinos abroad to actually save more. They're pushing Filipinos abroad to actually contribute more as well, so that when they come back home, they have a larger amount of money that they can also use and they can actually get. How do you enroll? Number one, if you're not a member yet, of course, you need to fill up the personal record form. I think it's called E1, and then before you become a member, and then you have to contribute the 1,760 plus on a monthly basis. If you are a member already, you just have to fill up the Flexi Fund enrollment form. You just go to SSS website, go to Google, type SSS, it will launch the main page, then go to Flexi Fund, then download the form that they have in the website. Here's the thing, since you are an OFW, the next best thing for you to do is this. It's not the next best thing, but it's a requirement. You still need to pass it mano-mano to whatever SSS office, whatever country they're based in. So mostly they're near the consulates or the embassies, or when you come back home to the Philippines, just go to an SSS office and try to open it there. Initially, when you open it, it has to be you personally to visit to be able to open the account as well. So the forms can be downloaded wherever you are because it's in the internet, but you still have to pass the forms directly to an SSS branch and office. Here's what would make it interesting. Number one, similar to the Pag Ibig Mp2, it's tax exempt, meaning if bonds have 20% taxes that are withheld, and if preferred shares give you a 10% withholding, this one is also tax-free, meaning if you earn 1,000 pesos, the whole 1,000 pesos goes to you. You don't get deducted taxes already. Similar to Pag Ibig, this one also is guaranteed by SSS. Let me qualify this now so that you don't have any confusion. The earnings are not guaranteed, but the money that you place is guaranteed, meaning if you place a capital of 100,000, that capital is guaranteed by SSS. It will not be like the stock market where it could fluctuate and go to 60,000 pesos. It will not be like you getting a CFD account with leverage and with margin and then you shorting that it could go to zero. This one, whatever amount that you put, that's what you can expect plus whatever earnings that you get. Next, the earnings naman will be relatively variable. I'm going to try to discuss this in a bit. But comment below if you are learning. Comment below if this is something that's helping you as well. If you're looking at the narrative already that there's a guaranteed amount, so you already know that this is a low risk investment. You already know that this is an investment that in all intents and purposes won't really give you high flying yields. Please remember, anything that is guaranteed will normally be low risk. Anything that gives you a low amount of risk also won't give you a high amount of earnings. So automatic, if you're a person that enjoys investing in the stock market, you're a person that entrepreneur and love using your money and putting it into business, you are a real estate investor that likes to flip, you are an investor that wants to get larger yields from your rental income, this might not be for you. So these are for OFWs, Filipinos abroad that want to have something that's relatively stable, that will just beat time deposits and that will just beat savings accounts. This is not one of your high-flying investment vehicles as well. Since this is an SSS product, what this does is it helps you with disability benefits. So parang insurance na rin, may insurance type of movement siya. It also has a death benefit. If you want to know more about the disability benefit and the death benefit, just comment them below and I'll try to make a specific video about it as well. Then this is also something that you can use for retirement. This is what I think makes it so interesting and so good. In the stock market, of course, if you remove the odd lot, the next best way for you to be able to buy a stock is via the board lot. Meaning, to buy Jollibee stock, it's 220 times 10, it's 2,200 pesos. If SM Prime stock is 40 pesos, that means minimum board lot for you to be able to buy SM Prime is basically 40 times 100, meaning minimum shares that you need to produce to be able to be a shareholder using the board lot for SM Prime is 4,000 pesos. What's interesting about this is you can be an investor in the SSS Flexi Fund for only 200 pesos. That's the main advantage. If Pag Ibig Mp2 is 500, SSS Flexi Fund is only 200 pesos. If for the real estate you need at least a large amount of money to make a down payment in SSS Flexi Fund, it's a very, very small amount of money that you also need to put in. Now, that's one. Second thing is like Pag Ibig Mp2, there's no maximum amount. You can put as much as you can, as often as you can. So I've read so many reports that there's a lot of OFWs already that have placed millions of pesos into a particular SSS Flexi Fund account. So that's good. Because I think one of the biggest problems man of Filipinos is not that it's not that the choices of different investments, it's that most Filipinos, rather than saving, rather than investing, really spend the money. So money that's kept working hard for Filipinos is rather good than just them spending their money on things that they don't need just to feel good or make other people feel good. And comment below if kung OFW ka, napapagastos ka kasi nape-pressure ka lang sa mga kamag-anak mo, sa mga kaibigan mo na habang nasa Pilipinas kailangan mo manlibre, habang nasa Pilipinas dahil ikaw yung OFW, ikaw dapat mag-treat sa mga tao. Pero hindi dapat ganun yung narrative also at times. Please remember this, you also have to set aside a portion of your money for your future. That's why kahit KJ kayo, kahit hindi kayo pinaka-popular sa mga magkakaibigan, unahin nyo rin yung pangarap nyo, unahin nyo yung pangarap nyo to have a better life, unahin nyo yung pangarap nyo to live a lasting legacy, not just for you, but for your kids and the kids of your kids as well. How much will you earn? I didn't see a specific rate from the research that I did, but if you want more, I'll try to dig in deeper. Just comment it below and I'll try to make something for you guys. But basically, it's divided into two. The guaranteed earning will be placed in short-term peso placement. So the interest rate for that is very, very low. Also, better still than savings accounts, but you can't really expect it to be higher. Most likely, it's gonna be pegged to the 91 T-bill. So meaning, they will give you an amount that's higher than the 91-day T-bill. So if the 91 T-bill say is 3.5%, they must give you something that's higher than the 91-day T-bill. It may not be in terms of earnings as high vis-a-vis the Pag Ibig Mp2. Because from the Pag Ibig Mp2, it's dividends Dividends versus interest, automatic dun pa lang, that's already a clue for you. Dividends comes from earnings. Interest is something that they would normally give on a fixed basis. So this is just me. I'd want to put my money into something that will give me something that has a higher rate of return because I'm still young. I would always take something that will give me a higher rate of return because I know that my biggest weapon is time. Since I'm young, time is my greatest weapon and I'd rather take something that will give me a higher rate of return. But again, I'm saying this because there will be people also that are SSS members already and OFWs and that are having a harder time to save. It's still better for you to be able to save, earning higher than T-bills as compared to not saving at all. So I'm just managing expectations that you will get something close to a 91-day T-bill. So what's interesting about this and what makes this, I guess, different compared to the Mp2 is basically this. There's no lock-in period. Unlike the Mp2 where they have to lock in your money for at least 5 years, this one, from the research that I did, but I can drill more on this if you guys want. There's no lock-in period, meaning you can take out the money anytime you want as well. So if I will try to compare the difference with this between Mp2, for Mp2, you have to put an amount of money that you don't plan to touch for at least 5 years. For SSS, you can put an amount of money that even if something happens, you can easily pull it out as well. But again, the biggest benefit of this for me, 200 pesos. So kung ano man yung trabaho mo overseas, you can start doing this. And I like this move because it's forcing and pushing Filipinos, especially Filipinos overseas, to continue to save. And I'll make this appeal to all of you, regardless of where you are. And if you are a Filipino abroad, you know it already. You've seen how Indians do it, how Africans do it. Their main priority when they're abroad is saving. Their main priority when they're abroad is investing. Their main priority is not to stay where they are working for a very, very long time. Their goal is to build and stockpile as much cash, savings, investments as they can so that when they finish their work, when they finish their tour of duty, they're richer than where they were before. And that's my desire. And that's why even though SSS is not connected anymore to the stock market, I believe it's an avenue for Filipinos to become richer. It's an avenue for Filipinos to do better. And that's why I'm doing this video, because I want you guys to have as much holistic information as possible for you to decide. Comment below if you guys are learning from this. Just to sum it all up, SSS, it's transparent, it's guaranteed. Minimum amount to put in is 200 and it's very liquid. You can take it anytime. However, it's only for Filipinos working abroad that contribute above 1,760 to SSS and they're active members of SSS. And whatever you put above and beyond, the maximum monthly contribution is what's gonna place on the SSS Flexi Fund as well. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being part of this journey, because I really believe Filipinos deserve to be better. I really believe that wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you deserve to have a better life. You deserve to live better than what your parents live. You deserve that your kids also will live a better life than you as well. So if this is something that's beneficial to you, super appreciate it if you can like, comment, share, or at least place your thoughts on ano yung pinakamalaking tulong nitong video na to for all of you. That's it for now. This is Marvin Germo. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, guys, and God bless you all.